In the heart of a bustling city, where the skyline was punctuated by the silhouettes of towering skyscrapers, a peculiar meeting was about to unfold. The air was thick with anticipation as the world watched two figures known for their audacity and ambition come together in an unexpected encounter. On one side stood Donald Trump, the former president, a man whose name had become synonymous with controversy and charisma. On the other side was a child, a boy of remarkable lineage, the son of Elon Musk, whose very existence seemed to be woven from the fabric of innovation and futurism. The boy, named X-E-A-C, though most simply called him X, was not just a child of privilege. He was a symbol of the future, a living embodiment of the dreams and technologies his father championed. Though only a few years old, X had already captured the public's imagination with his unusual name and the aura of mystery that surrounded him. He had been raised in an environment filled with ideas that danced on the edge of reality, where technology, space exploration, and artificial intelligence were not just discussions, but daily conversations. On this particular day, X found himself in a lavish conference room adorned with opulence that seemed almost excessive. The walls were painted in deep shades of gold and blue, and the large table at the center was made of polished mahogany, reflecting the light that spilled in from the grand windows. Trump sat at one end, his demeanor a blend of confidence and curiosity, while X, small and unassuming, perched on his chair, his eyes wide with wonder and mischief. The meeting had been organized by Musk himself, who believed that there was value in fostering dialogue between generations, especially between someone like Trump, who had shaped the political landscape, and his son, who represented the future of technology and innovation. It was a bold move, but Musk had always been a risk-taker, and he hoped that this interaction could spark ideas that would bridge the gap between their worlds. As the meeting commenced, Trump leaned forward, his eyes narrowing with interest. "So, X, what do you think about the future of technology? What do you want to be when you grow up?" His voice was booming, filled with the kind of bravado that had resonated with millions. The boy, however, was unfazed. He looked at Trump with an intensity that belied his age, as if he were assessing the man before him. "I want to build a city on Mars," X replied, his voice clear and confident. The words hung in the air, and for a moment even Trump seemed taken aback. The audacity of the statement was palpable, and it stirred something within the former president, a flicker of intrigue mixed with skepticism. "That's quite the ambition for someone so young," Trump responded, a hint of a smile creeping onto his lips. "But tell me, why Mars? Why not stay here on Earth where all the action is?" X tilted his head, his dark hair falling slightly over his forehead. "Because Mars is where we can start fresh. We can create new rules, new systems, and new ways of living. Earth has too many problems. Pollution, wars, inequality. On Mars, we can do it right. We can use technology to help everyone." Trump raised an eyebrow, impressed by the clarity of the boy's vision. "You think technology can solve all our problems? That's a bold statement. What if it creates new problems?" X considered this for a moment. "Technology is a tool. It depends on how we use it. If we use it to help people, then it can be good. But if we use it for power or control, then it can be bad. We have to be smart about it." The conversation began to flow more freely, with Trump asking questions and X answering with a surprising depth of understanding. They discussed everything from renewable energy to artificial intelligence, and X's insights were often profound, revealing a mind that seemed far beyond his years. Trump, for all his bravado, found himself genuinely engaged. The boy's perspective was refreshing, and he felt a sense of connection to this young visionary. But then, as the dialogue shifted, X leaned closer, his eyes narrowing slightly as if he were about to share a secret. "Mr. Trump," he said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "I have something important to tell you. Something that could change everything." Intrigued, Trump leaned in, his interest piqued. "What is it, X? You can tell me." With a seriousness that belied his age, X continued, "I know about the Neuralink project. My dad talks about it all the time. He wants to connect human brains to computers, right? But there's something else. I've seen the simulations. If we do this right, we can enhance our brains, make us smarter, faster, better. But it could also be dangerous." Trump's expression shifted, a flicker of concern crossing his features. "Dangerous how?" X took a deep breath, the weight of his words hanging in the air. "If we connect too many people, or if the wrong people control it, they could manipulate thoughts, control decisions. Imagine a world where someone could make you think what they want you to think. It could be like mind control." The room fell silent as Trump processed the implications of what the boy had just revealed. The very idea of mind control sent a shiver down his spine, and for a moment he was reminded of the power struggles he had witnessed throughout his life. How information could be weaponized, how narratives could be twisted, and how control could slip through one's fingers. "X, that's a serious concern," Trump finally said, his voice low. "You're saying that if we're not careful we could lose our freedom? Our ability to think for ourselves?" "Exactly," X replied, his eyes bright with conviction. "We have to be careful about how we use technology. It's not just about making things faster or smarter. It's about making sure we don't lose what makes us human." The gravity of the conversation weighed heavily on Trump, and he found himself reflecting on his own experiences in the political arena. He had witnessed firsthand how information could be manipulated, how narratives could be spun to serve agendas. The idea of technology being used as a tool for control resonated with him deeply, and he couldn't help but admire the boy's foresight. "You're wise beyond your years, X," Trump said, a hint of respect in his tone. "I'll admit I didn't expect this kind of conversation today. You're right. We need to think about the implications of everything we create. But how do we ensure that the technology serves the people, not the other way around?" X smiled, a glimmer of hope shining in his eyes. "We need to create systems that are transparent and accountable. People should have a say in how technology is used. It shouldn't just be in the hands of a few. We should educate everyone about it so they understand what it means for their lives." Trump nodded, the wheels in his mind turning. "Education is key. If people understand the technology, they can make informed decisions. But how do we get them to care? How do we get them to pay attention?" X thought for a moment, his brow furrowing in concentration. "We have to make it relatable. Show them how it affects their lives. If they see the benefits, they'll want to be involved. We can use social media, art, stories, anything that connects with people." The conversation continued to unfold, each exchange revealing a deeper understanding between the two. Trump found himself captivated by X's vision, a vision that was not just about technology, but about humanity itself. The boy spoke with a passion that was infectious, and Trump felt a renewed sense of purpose as they discussed the potential of a world where technology could uplift rather than oppress. As the meeting drew to a close, Trump stood up, extending his hand toward X with a grin. "You've given me a lot to think about, kid. You're going to do great things, I can tell. Just remember to keep that spirit of curiosity alive." X took Trump's hand, his grip firm for someone so small. "Thank you, Mr. Trump. I hope you can help make a better future for everyone." With that, the meeting ended, but the impact of their conversation lingered in the air long after they parted ways. Trump walked away with a renewed sense of responsibility, a reminder that the future was not just about politics or power, but about the people and the choices they made. X, too, felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that he had shared a piece of his vision with someone who had the ability to influence the world. In the days that followed, the media buzzed with speculation about the meeting. Headlines proclaimed the unlikely duo's encounter, and pundits debated the implications of a conversation between a former president and a child. But beneath the surface, something deeper was brewing, a connection that transcended age, experience, and ideology. X's words echoed in Trump's mind, prompting him to reflect on the role of technology in society. He began to advocate for more discussions about ethical tech use, emphasizing the importance of transparency and accountability in innovation. He reached out to experts, organized forums, and even collaborated with educators to promote awareness about the implications of emerging technologies. Meanwhile, X continued to explore his interests, diving deeper into the realms of science and technology. He began to engage with peers, sharing his ideas and encouraging them to think critically about the world around them. His father, Elon, watched with pride as his son blossomed into a young thinker, unafraid to voice his opinions and challenge the status quo. As the months rolled on, the ripple effects of that fateful meeting began to manifest in unexpected ways. The dialogue about technology and ethics gained momentum, inspiring a new generation to take an active role in shaping their future. X's vision of a better world, one where technology served humanity rather than controlled it, resonated with many, igniting a movement that sought to marry innovation with responsibility. In the end, it was a simple meeting between a child and a former president that sparked a conversation about the future, a reminder that even the smallest voices could have a profound impact on the world. And as X looked toward the stars, dreaming of cities on Mars, he knew that the journey had only just begun. The future was bright, and it was up to him and those who believed in the power of technology to ensure it remained that way.